looking at a calculator, and I think after taxes, when you're making 50, if you got a family plan of one or more kids, wife, two kids, and you got benefits, you that may eat up $1,200 of your but before you bring your check home, they're coming out of your check before you bring it home. So you're probably looking at, let's say if you're making um maybe 50 or something, I don't know. Um let's just hypothetically say 50 or 55 or something like that, 55,000, something like that, right? After taxes, after benefits, if you do 401k, all that good stuff, flexible spending and all that good stuff, you you're doing okay if you bring it home probably 1,100 after all that's coming out. That's an estimate, like 1,100. So as an adult with kids, I would love some adults to let these young people know how much does $1,100 go? How fast does it go when you get it to pay bills? You start paying your bills. You start going to the website, lights, gas, water. If you got a car note, you got to pay that. Mortgage, you got to pay that. A rent, you got to pay that. You can eat through $1,100 so fast as an adult. And I'm not even talking about splurging. I'm just talking about paying bills, paying for the car, and then don't let the extra stuff pop up. Car need brakes. Kids need some more clothes because they're growing, so their shoes get smaller. All that stuff can affect the detail stuff. That's the kind of stuff, man, that don't get talked about a lot. It's the detail stuff around being an adult. And then you want to have a family. Now you add more details that you gotta attend to as a man, or if you're a husband, as a leader of the house. You gotta attend to the details more details to attend to. So let's keep watching.
But I understand that I have to work all these jobs to get to my destination because I know I want to be my own boss. That's why I got to stack this money. You got to get it how you can get it, bro. I've been telling my cousins to sacrifice the summer, come up with a game plan, and lock in, bro. Lock in and get to your destination. Man, I'm trying to get there now. I understand. Keep looking at that destination. Keep having that hunger in you. That's going to fuel you. You feel me? The game plan might fail, but don't change the destination because your game plan failed. Keep the destination in mind, change the game plan, and reroute the game plan to get to the destination. You feel me?
So shout out to I think his name is Municipal. I think that's his name. Shout out to him, man, for making this video, man, and saying that he think that it's not enough. Man, shout out to him for making this video. So my next question is, what is a strategy that you can recommend to him or anybody in this situation that could help him elevate more efficiently? What are some of the things? Let me know in the comments what you think. What are some of the things that you can ask to help him elevate and level up? Let me know in the comments what you think. What I will say is, but I don't know how old this young brother is. Um, and I would say explore all the options. I know he said he's doing sound engineering. I know he said he works at a factory. So we're gonna move over to this next slide, and this is why I want to. When I say recommend, like let's think about the visual age range, right? Understanding how to maximize your time in your youth years. They say you got 18 to 25, 25 to 35, 35 to 45. Oh, sorry, I didn't know it was so dark. 35 to 45, 45 to 55, and 55 and up. What I'm telling you to my young people, that 18 to 25 range, if you maximize your time, if you get some kind of education, whether it's an apprenticeship, whether it's a degree, whether it's a certification or vocation, anything that you can do to increase your value, if you can do it in that 18 to 25 range, I promise you, when you get to the 25, 35, all you'll be doing is vetting and waiting on the right opportunity to come along because you're prepared. You did all the preparation in that 18 to 25 range. I'm telling you from experience because I didn't do that. If I would have, like I said, I'm in my last semester of school, and if I would have handled this when I was younger, all I would have to do now is just be vetting opportunities. Now I have to turn opportunities down because I have to finish school. That's my goal, is to finish school, get the degrees. I have the experience. I've been in IT for over 10 years, but now I need the degree to be parallel with that. So when I walk into these interviews of these higher end jobs, I have all the keys I need at that point now. It's just selling the magic beans. Let them know that if I say these beans, the beans start gonna grow. That's what it all boils down to. But if you play around in that 18 to 25, sometimes even 18 to 35, if you don't maximize that time or find some way to carve out some time to elevate yourself, to elevate your skill set, man, 35 to 45, those years are going to be hard, especially if you have a family. Like he said, $20 an hour. If you just work one job of making 20, $22 an hour, or even 25, he said it wouldn't be enough. That's why it's important in that 18 to 25 range to find something to do that will elevate your value and skill set on the job market. So, if I was talking to him, if he asked me, Mike, what you think? I would ask him, have he looked at any apprenticeships in his area, depending on his age, because I didn't know about these things in high school myself, but an apprenticeship. If you like working in factories, you like working with your hands. Have you thought about being an electrician? Have you thought about being a plumber? Have you thought about being a carpenter where you framing houses? Have you thought about painting? Have you thought about in a trade if you don't want to go to college? When I say education, it's more than just a degree. So with an apprenticeship, you get to, they pay you while you work for them and you're learning the trade at the same time. You have to get a certain amount of hours, and once you get those hours, you can take a test to obtain your journeyman certification. And then if you want to go to the next level after that, you become a master electrician, master plumber, all those things. But I think they said it's like between 3 to 5 years. If you do this in 18 to 25 and then work on your journeyman and get that around 25, 26, now from 35 to 55, you're good. You have a trade. Your career is going to be whatever you get that trade in. And even if you want to go to college to understand how to run a business, the back end part of business, you got the trade. You get your education around the business end to learn about business. Now you could be a master tradesman or whatever trade you pick. And all you have to do is like clockwork at that point. But you got to have a strategy and you got to have the mindset to understand that the commitment that I'm making now in this 18 to 25 range is going to pay off from 25 to 55, even 25. No, it's going to pay off. But you have to put in the work on the front end to get the success on the back end. I'm telling you from experience, if you get out there and start playing around, want to be in the dating game, you want to play in the gray area, it's going to affect you when you get older, and you're going to feel the funk when you get older. Take it from somebody who did that. I'm telling you. Be smart. Be better than me. Don't be like me. Be better than me. I'm telling you to make better decisions. And when you say that sound tough, you know what's tough? It's getting older in that 55 45 to 55 and realize that you're not in position to retire. You're not in position to stop working. And then it gets even tougher when you're working a job that's based on physical attributes, and your physical attributes are starting to fade as you get older. Nobody stays a cyborg. Only few people are like that. So don't get caught up in this social media stuff. Be smart, make good decisions, and continue to ball out. Next topic. Pick one. Puppet Master or Chucky? Who you picking? Puppet Master or Chucky? I'm gonna pick the Puppet Master because that's something me and my dad used to watch when I was younger. He used to watch Puppet Master, and young people, if you never watched that, go back and watch it. It's kind of like a version of Chucky, the pre-version, something like that. Chucky was more funny to me. It was like a funny, scary movie. Puppet Master was funny too, just depending on how you looked at it. But at first, when you look at it, it's kind of weird seeing puppets, do crazy stuff. But yeah, that's something me and my dad used to watch when we was younger. Puppet Master. I'm a little biased on that. Puppet Master. I'm gonna pick Puppet Master. But let me know who you pick in the comments. Puppet Master or Chucky? All right. This is a slide that I call the gray area insight.
Blade, ready to die.
What are some of the risks of being in the gray area? Let me know in the comments. What are some of the risks of being in the gray area? Some of the risk is there is no right or wrong. There is no fair. There's no such thing as fair. It's all about survival. It's all about understanding what your advantages are and what your disadvantages are. It's all about trying to avoid major troubles. You're really trying to avoid mistakes because some places in the gray area you can't make mistakes at. You got to be smart about what you're doing. And then dealing with people in that gray area, it can either make you mentally strong or it can affect your mental health because you're expecting things to be one way, but in the gray area, there are many ways things can happen. Kind of like the multiverse. There is no one way. There is the person you expect to be nice may be mean. The person who you look up to in the gray area may be a totally different person. And these kind of things, in my opinion, affect a lot of people's mental health because you go into it with the best intentions, but when things are gray, it makes you almost colorblind, and you don't even know what black and white is anymore. It's just it's almost like everything's blending. It's crazy. So if you can avoid being in the gray area, and I will say this, and I know people ain't gonna like it. I think that's why it's important to learn about life in your spiritual education so you can avoid getting in some of these gray areas. Spiritual education is very important. Don't sleep on it. A lot of times, if you educate yourself spiritually, a lot of times you can see or deal with things in the gray area because sometimes you can't control whether you in it or not, but you have to be able to manage your mental space, manage your health. You got to be able to manage your decision making. You got to be able to manage all of those things in your thoughts. If you happen to just be in the gray area without trying to get in that area, But in life, the gray area it can make or break a lot of people, and you will not come out the same. The longer you in there, the more it's gonna affect you, good or bad, most of the time. And even if it's good, you may come out calloused. When you get back into the black or white, you may come out callous. So please be careful, my young people, playing around in that gray area because it ain't for everybody. And like I say, everybody don't come back. Some people they get stuck in the gray area. Some people they end up dying in the gray area. They never really get back to their mind just can't comprehend how crazy it is in that gray area. Especially when you become an adult. It's like you kind of sometimes you get almost thrust into it. You have to be able to be strong enough to will your way back to being normal, getting out of the gray area. You got to will your way back and try to get back to a place of a healthy environment. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So yes, there are risks about being in the gray area. So is there a way to avoid the gray area? There's ways. That's why I'm saying it's important to learn, the spiritual, read the Bible for yourself, understand the Bible for yourself, and understand that there's nothing new under the sun. A lot of the scenarios in life, if you really pay attention and have awareness, they are in the Bible. You just have to read it for yourself. And discernment that you get from God will definitely help you avoid most of accidentally exposing yourself to being in the gray area. Some things you can't control, you're gonna be exposed to it, but when you start understanding that you can control a lot of the things around you and what you get yourself into, you can see it before you get there. Like, you know what, it's a little gray over there. I don't want to go over there. I'm good. So learn as much as you can. Understand that some things you don't need to get into, and accountability always can help you if you need to not go there, get in that area, because a lot of times people be in the gray area too long, they don't want to be accountable for things that they do. I had to learn that. As an individual, you have to learn how to be accountable for what you do. Be accountable for decisions that you make. Whether another person's involved or not, you're still accountable for your part in the situation or circumstance. Whether it's black, white, or gray. But it's the gray area stuff that's crazy. The stuff that if you're not mentally strong enough, it can break you. You may not even be able to recover from it. So please be careful out there. And it said my last slide on this is some people will try to hold these items over your head. They will. Stuff you do in the gray area, you're trying to survive. You may do some things that most people may not like, but guess what? Some people don't understand what it takes to survive in the gray area. They don't. Some people don't. And you may have done some things that may not be, what am I saying, accepted by society or accepted by people because you had to do that to survive in the gray area. But don't allow somebody to hold your past over your head. It can only embarrass you if you let it embarrass you. Am I saying to keep doing it? Nope. What I'm saying is if you forgive yourself, repent, ask God to forgive you and forgive yourself, you can get up and turn and go in a different direction. Let it go. Keep it or let it stay in the past behind you and keep going forward. And don't let people hold your past over your head. Like I said, I made many mistakes. The best thing you can do is improve and outlive your mistakes. The best thing you can do. If somebody try to hold your head or hold something, your past over you, just outlive it. That's the best way to trump that is to outlive your mistakes. Because sometimes, I'll say this, sometimes it's those mistakes that you make in the gray area, in those trials and tribulations, that propel you to greater things in life. Because some people who've never made a mistake, who've always been winning, how do you know what you need to work on if you've never messed up? Most time if you're always winning, you kind of can get the big head and you feel like it's nothing to work on. But when you make a mistake or you take a loss, you say, okay, how did I get to this point where I took a loss? Okay, I need to work on that. And you're being accountable to yourself, not trying to let somebody else tell you or judge you. You need to judge yourself and be accountable. So with that being said, the hot question. Hear that sizzle? You feel that sizzle? The pretty privilege card. The pretty privilege card. The question is, when will the privilege expire? It could be for either or, man or woman. You have to understand that a lot of people now you see on social media, like just say people trying to do these IG models. They're trying to get all what they call the BBLs and all this stuff and a bunch of synthetic stuff. A lot of people they trying to get this pretty privilege, trying to cross paths with athletes and rich people, hopefully, or whatever they do. But you got to understand that pretty privilege has an expiration date. One day you can be the prettiest person, the next day you at the back of the line. Your card has expired. Let me know in the comments, do you understand this? The pretty privilege card. Amber Rose, how long do you think her pretty privilege is going to last for? How much time you think she got left? Think it says she's born in 83. She's 40, 41, because I was born in 83, so 41. How much time do you think she has left? What's her expiration date? And when she hits that expiration date, what do you think is going to happen? A lot of times you see this on social media, people trying to capitalize on their image, or they gravitate to the attention that they get. They feel like they get the privileges of being, I guess, considered, like it's ESPN top 10 or something like that. But let me know what you think. When do you think, or how long do you think she has? Holly Berry. Let me know what you think. Do she still have her pretty privilege card, or do you think it's expired? Let me know what you think.
It's always business. Never personal.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
She's 57, according to Google. She's 57. She's still out here taking risque pictures and doing things that somebody with young probably would be doing. At one point, most dudes, you gotta be honest. She was probably top 3 on the pretty privilege card. She probably was in top 3. She probably had the most privilege points, But as she got older, this is life. People thinking you judging, but I'm telling you, this is life for men and women. You may be fair, you may have all the attention when you're younger, but as you get older, that attention starts to wane. People start to look elsewhere. Then what? How do you handle that mentally? How do you handle being dudes talking about you? You look on social media, you're the hottest person on social media. Dudes talking about you to now they probably don't even mention you in posts. I'm telling you how life works, and this is messed with people's psyche because it's a false expectation or hope or vain. It only lasts for so long. The privilege only lasts for so long. Nobody has forever pretty privilege unless you share. And share, that probably costs a lot of money to be share. Cause Cher looks like a Barbie doll. She has to be in her 70s or something, maybe 80s, but not have a wrinkle. We know that ain't realistic. We know her plastic surgeon. He counting. So let me know in the comments what you think about this segment, the pretty privilege. I'm moving right along to the next topic. So pick one. In Living Color or Saturday Night Live? Who you rolling with? This is easy for me. I'm going with In Living Color because that's what I grew up on. Saturday Night Live is cool, but it wasn't In Living Color. In Living Color was almost like the 92 Dream Team of comedians. Even the comedians that wasn't as funny was still being carried by the heavy hitters. And then, in my opinion, the greatest comedian, he didn't even really showcase himself, Keenan Ivory Wayans. He didn't even really, he did a couple of things here and there, but I think he could have went full tilt, but he featured everybody else. So shout out to Keenan, man, for that. But who you rolling with? I'm going with In Living Color. Let me know in the comments who you rolling with. The hot question. Does being in the gray area affect your mental health? And the answer is it does affect your mental health being in the gray area because you meet people, you may have met somebody at work and they're cool. But when you're in the gray area and you meet them, they may be a totally different person. That's why you have to be careful. And you have to not build pre-notions about people. Don't put nothing past anybody because you never know what another person's into. You never know what they got going on because you're not with them 24/7. And what you got to understand is as you get older, that's why it's good to build friendships when you're younger because you know that person from, 13, 14 and you still know from like 1 to 13 who that person is, but from 13 up to 35, 40, you know that person. But if you meet somebody at 35, you got to think from 1 to 35, you don't know what that person did, only what they tell you, if they even tell you. So you have to figure out or play the game of understanding what kind of person you're dealing with, whether a friend, whether a spouse, anybody. Dealing with work, the gray area, stuff that people don't talk about, the detailed stuff. People don't talk about that enough. It affects your mental health. Imagine working a job for years and you're making great money and you get older and you're about to retire and you can make one mistake and lose all of that. That will affect your mental health because when you're working these jobs, you can mess up one time and it's gone just like that. That will affect your mental health. Dealing with people, you have to have a level of security within yourself. Insecurities will eat you alive in the gray area because, like I say, in the gray area, nobody has to be nice to you. Nobody has to treat you right. You have to understand it before you go into the gray area. If you don't, that will mess with your mental health. Understanding that nobody is guaranteed to treat you any kind of way. Ain't no guarantees in the gray area.
I'm not really sure if I can.
So the next one is, will it sharpen your perspective based on the experiences and trials? It will. But you have to have a perspective to move, to keep moving, even when things suck or you get a bad, you take a loss. A lot of times you got to learn how to let stuff go. You got to learn how not to hold on to stuff. I can't stress it enough. Some people say I can't let that go, but what I will suggest to you is you never know what's tied to your health. Holding on to something probably can affect your health just by holding on to something, just by not letting something go. It can sharpen your perspective based on how dealing with people. You kind of understand patterns and behaviors. Like nobody's the same, but patterns and behaviors are similar in different character traits. A manipulator has behaviors and patterns that's similar across the board. A person that likes to control, a control freak, that's what they call them. They have patterns and behaviors that's similar across the board. What they call a narcissist will also have patterns. A person that use people, always asking for money or something, patterns and behaviors. A person that's lazy, patterns and behaviors. You don't have to know the person personally. You can just study their patterns and behaviors. And when you're dealing with people in the gray area, you kind of see those things, not from a judgmental standpoint, but taking in data to avoid or continue on dealing with this person based on their patterns and behaviors. Not from a judgmental standpoint, but from a beneficial standpoint. Is it going to benefit me to be around this person, or if it's going to put me at a disadvantage to be around this person? You have to answer those questions within your head. You have to make that decision as an individual. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. Pick one. Nike slide-ons or Birkenstocks slide-ons. I'm gonna go with Birkenstock. Most people probably go with Nike, but I'm going Birkenstock. I like Birkenstocks, and I like the part that got the back part that cover your back of your foot up, but they still slide-ins though. I like those. They're comfortable. I even had some actually that color to be exact, and I really like them. Once you break them in, I mean they feel like you just walking barefoot almost in that sole. So I'm going Birkenstock, but let me know in the comments who you rolling with, Nike slide-ons or Birkenstocks. Life lesson. Understanding that the more you shine, the more people will hate or try to sabotage your situation. That's what you got to understand as a youth, adult, middle age, even when you get older. The more good you do, the more you improve yourself, there will be a set of people, not all people, but there will be a set of people that will not like what you're doing. They won't even be able to give you a reason, and they will have something to say. Even if you're doing good, that's why, as an individual, you have to know within yourself, the core of you, what you're doing that's good. Waiting on some people to validate you sometimes, you'll never get it. You have to validate the things that you're doing based on your metric of judging what's good and what's bad. You have to do that. And some people will try to sabotage your situation. You know, you're trying to go to school, you're trying to do something to better yourself. There are some people who will try to pull on you or try to hinder you. That's why you have to be careful who you're around, who you roll with, hinder you from improving for whatever reason. Even they having problems with them improving, or they don't want you to improve. Or some people just naturally they just try to take your time up instead of using their own time. So be careful about who you're around and understand, be aware. Oh, this person trying to sabotage me. What I got going on, I'm at to distance myself. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because at the end of the day, as an individual, you're responsible for where you are at the present time right now. And some people say this is a hard way of looking at it, but I had to learn this. You are where you are because of your thoughts and your choices from when you were younger. You are where you are today based on your decisions and choices that you made in the past. Whether you want to believe it or not, it makes so much sense.
Blade, ready to die.
You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
To protect the sheep, you gotta catch the wolf. And it takes a wolf to catch a wolf. You understand?
Allow nothing to be in your life that you cannot walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you spot the heat around the corner.
Sorry about that, guys. Having some technical difficulties. That's my fault. Charge it to my equipment, not me. Sometimes technical stuff happens. Nothing you can really do about it, but it's all good. All to the good. So let me pull my slides back up. Get back on track. So, getting back to the slides. If a person receives hate, does it mean, hey, they are doing something right? Sometimes that's how you know if you're doing something right. When people are paying attention to what you're doing and they got little side remarks, that lets me know I'm doing something right. I be like, oh, I must be doing something right. They over there sideline hating. I must be doing something right. Let me keep doing it. And like I said, you also have to have your own individual barometer to know that you're doing something right as well. So keep that in mind as you're going. B, not going along with the crowd. Sometimes when you're not with the clique, you don't do what everybody else is doing. It's called the herd mentality. Sometimes you get a little slack for that. Well, like I said, if you're doing the right thing, you know that you're elevating yourself. You know that you're increasing your value. Sometimes when you're increasing your value, the crowd doesn't do those same things. Look at most of the successful people. I'm talking about real successful, not social media successful. I'm talking about the real successful people. Most of them, they may not be loners, but they're really close because they're so driven. Most people are not driven like that. And it kind of, because they're driven and consistent, sometimes they can drive a wedge between people because people that's in the herd mentality, they don't like being consistent, or they're consistent at things that's only convenient for them. But being consistent at things that helps you level up, being consistent at challenging things, most people don't want to do that. But if you like doing it, that could put a gulf between you and people who don't like doing it. So you have to be mindful of those things. And C, sometimes there is no reason. Some people just like to hate. That's for real. That's life. Some people they just live to hate on another person. They love it. And then saying this from a humble standpoint, have everybody hated on somebody at some point in their life? I'm pretty sure everybody has. It's just as you try to minimize it, as you get older, when you start understanding things from a different level, you start minimizing the hate. It's like it ain't even worth it. I don't have time to think about another person. when you understand that as an individual, you're responsible for your work and things that you do, you don't have time thinking about another person. But that's just my take. Let me know what you think about that. Pick one. Chick-fil-A sauce or Wendy's honey mustard? Who you picking? Chick-fil-A sauce or Wendy's honey mustard? They was just tough because I like both, but I'm going to go with Chick-fil-A sauce because you can put Chick-fil-A sauce on just about anything. And when I was younger, I used to eat ranch a lot, but I think it's my palate switched to Chick-fil-A sauce. I don't eat ranch like I used to. You can put Chick-fil-A sauce on a salad. You can put it on fries. You can put it on nuggets. You can put it on a sandwich. I've even put Chick-fil-A sauce on a Big Mac. Shout out to Chick-fil-A. Let me know in the comments who you picking. Wendy's, honey mustard, or Chick-fil-A sauce. Corporate lesson. How long does a person stay at a position or company if they do not receive a raise? It's a tricky question. And it's definitely a sizzling question, right? Here in Little Rock, there are some companies, there are some corporations or entities that when you work for them, they put you in a salary range, and you start off at the starting salary range or entry level, and you don't get a raise. The only thing you may get is a bonus every year, but even they take taxes out of that, but you don't get a raise. They may give you $1,000 every June or something like that. You know, what they call a merit bonus, but your actual pay doesn't increase. And I got to ask you this. How many years can you work at the same salary and then start feeling the effects of not getting a raise? That's something to think about. Think about that. So it depends on the person, you know, depending on what field you're in. I know a lot of times when you look on LinkedIn, you looked at a lot of people maybe 4 or 5 years at the max. And then you're looking at some other things. And that's why I say education is very important, because you may not get a raise at the job, but somebody may come recruit you because you got everything they're looking for, and they know you got the experience. Now they can just offer you more money. But if you're not ready, it's hard to not leave a job if you got the job without having those things to fall back on. It become, they call it golden handcuffs sometimes. You get in a position because you've been there or you networked your way up, but you didn't get the degree. So if you was to leave and go somewhere else, you may not get that same position or better because you don't have the education. So now you kind of stuck at the company because they gave you the opportunity that you may not otherwise get based on the circumstances or, you know, what you have as far as your credentials are concerned. So think about that, man. Always good to have a strategy. It's always good to be aware of what's going on. So the next one is, what does it say about a company if they do not increase employees' pay after a long period of time? This is a two-sided coin kind of perspective. Because if you look at it from a worker perspective, you're gonna say they don't value me. They don't care about my existence here. They just look at me as a gear that's turning the machine. And then on the other side of the coin is the company business model. Do their business model allow for different levels of employees to get a certain amount of money? And then there's the gray area, right? The gray area. Because some people know the right people, or got they plugged in, they get more money than the average person because they're plugged in. You know, they know the CEO or the CFO is their auntie, or, you know, that's the gray area stuff. And a lot of people complain about that until it benefits them. So it's definitely a two-sided coin. You got to understand how business works as well. Understand that different levels in the company only can make so much money based on the business model, and you got a choice at that point. Either you can understand what you need to get in order to elevate higher on the business model, or you can stay where you're at, and you're probably not. You're gonna max out at a certain number, or you're gonna hit that ceiling, and you can't go no further. So, with that being said, the inner city life spectrum, and the question is, where would being hard, some people say they're hard, or they're being tough, fall on the spectrum? I think it varies, but I think more towards the orange, like greenish orange. Gonna be a tough guy, but the thing is, you can get stuck in that, and it doesn't translate in every part of your life. Being a super tough guy, because dealing with certain people, you might not have to use that level on the spectrum to deal with all of your problems. But you got to have sense enough to know that it's okay not to fear anything, but you got to have common sense to know when to act on it, on the no fear. Because, like I say, I wouldn't wish jail on anybody. I wouldn't wish the legal system on anybody. But don't ever let crime be an option, if at all possible. Don't ever let crime be an option. Because if crime becomes an option, now you got to think about, if I take this option, what is coming down the pipe when I take this option? So think about that. Think about the spectrum, civilian or streets. Where do you fall at? Civilian or streets? I'm a square. I'm not a street dude. I'm a civilian. Didn't want to get involved in the streets. Streets is rough, man. It's a rough place. There's no longevity. Um, the streets don't love you back. The streets can hurt you just like that. 1 minute you can be revered. The next minute you could be the most hated. 1 minute, you could be celebrated. The next minute you could be killed. The streets is a tricky place. And if you're not ready for that, I would tell you don't do it. Because there is a lot of gray area in the streets. People think there are rules. There is not a lot of rules. Sometimes people use rules to hold you down and keep you in the box, but they're not following those same rules. That's called gray area stuff right there. So with that being said, who you picking, Castaway or The Gray with Liam Neeson, or Castaway with Tom Hanks? I'm going Castaway. Wilson, he did that whole movie pretty much, or 80% of that movie was him on the island doing it by himself. That is not easy to do, guys. To isolate yourself. Do something isolated. Not easy to do. The Gray was good too. He was it was winter. He was in the wilderness. But Castaway was just a whole nother level. Whole nother level. And that being said, let me know who you got in the comments. Who you picking? Next, pick one. Haku or Steve Blackman. Both of these dudes are crazy in their own right. A lot of people say Steve Blackman probably was one of the dudes you didn't want to mess with, and also Haku. If I had to pick one, I'm going Haku. If you ever on YouTube, go look up I think it was Stevie Ray. He was talking about Haku was in a bar, and he had to do it in a token death group in real life at a bar. And they said Haku was bad, man. He'll fight anybody. In real life, he'll fight you too. He wasn't no joke. And Steve Blackman was cold too, because he was a martial artist. Pretty crazy dude. He was real quiet. He didn't do a lot of talking. But Haku, man, dude was crazy too. But that token death grip, man, was crazy. Just grab you and grip you, man. That's crazy. But let me know who you got in the comments. Thanks for watching the Think Game podcast. Whoever come by and watch, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Jay, what's going on, bro?
What's going on? What's going on?
Man, you got it, man.
Running around crazy. Thought I want to catch the tail end of it.
No, you good, bro. I can't go back to some of the slides, man. If you want to, man, go back to some of the slides. It's up to you. I'll show you though, man. You see the video I sent, man? This dude was saying that he was saying that it's not enough. He was saying he worked 3 jobs. He was saying that $20 an hour is not enough. And I was saying, what strategy should he take if he want to be more efficient? He have to work 3 jobs. I was telling him the apprenticeship. If he's in the factory work, he should definitely think about apprenticeship if he's young enough. I don't know how old he is, but it's on YouTube. I think he released it like a couple days ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and I think we always talk about, how being young is an opportunity to go to school and better yourself, get new skills, and then increasing your marketability, your skill set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no age limit to that, but it's better, more efficient to do it younger, and it'll, you'll get the best value out of it. Because when you're an adult, like when you're older, you know what I mean, to go to school, you got to stop making money to go to school, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you forget a lot of things. And
in an apprenticeship, they pay you to work while you learn, though.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a win-win in that situation.
Yeah.
But with school and things like that, a lot of times we're not the best students. You get older, you know what I mean. So you need that time that you would be working. You can work and go to school, but you need that time to kind of really study because you're not as crisper as a student. And growing up in our time, you know what I mean, like $20 an hour, you were rich. That's a dream wage, you know what I mean. But now that's almost paycheck to paycheck. With regular stuff. I mean, you're not balling with that. This is regular stuff you're supposed to have as an adult, and you can barely afford that. You know what I mean? And guess what? I mean, it's still, some people still aspire to make $20 an hour because it's still a good goal, but you really don't really have much with that. And like this brother said, 3 jobs, so you got to put at least 1 or 2 of those jobs. That effort that you putting into those jobs and to getting skills, raising your earning potential. I'm sorry, I can't talk today. But
and that's why I was saying that 18 to 25 range. If you can maximize that time, a lot of times you don't realize you have a lot of dead time. I know I did. I had a lot of dead time in the 18 after outside of work and stuff. If you could just carve some of that time.
I think it's not really age. Most of the time, when you're that young, you do have the time, but it's the responsibilities that come with getting older. You know what I mean? Having kids, having a family. And some people are more willing to, like your parents, will let you sleep on the couch at 18, 21, 22. You know what I mean? But it's kind of hard to see 25, 28, 27 still kind of staying on your mom's couch or in the back room or in the basement. You know what I mean? The hands start getting short. The alligator arms kind of come out. You know what I mean? When people lending you a helping hand, the older you get. So, that's why you have that kind of dead time in there.
Yeah. And I think too, like what I was saying, if you maximize that time when you get in the 30s, now you just vetting opportunities. Because I know I didn't do it. I just worked jobs, and even when we was working at St. Vincent, people used to tell me all the time, man, you should go to school. Man, you should go to school. And I used to be like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But
I mean, it's like you can't make somebody realize something or see this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And another, it seems like it's more hours in a day back when you're younger, but you didn't require as much sleep. You had so much more energy and things like that,
Yeah.
But your mindset really isn't there. And going to school is like, man, should I do this and that? Because we still you still want to make money. You know what I mean? You still want to work. You still want to. So you think you hustling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you get 2 jobs, an extra job, an extra shift, and that's not the hustling you need to be doing. One of them, hustle for now. That's your job.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're 18, hustle for now. That's your job. That's your money in your pocket. That's your fun and stuff like that. That's the money you use to buy your clothes and have fun with. But you got to have that future hustle. That school. The school is going to get. That's their future hustling. So you're hustling for the now and you're hustling for the future. So like a lot of times getting a paycheck just pays you for now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
School don't pay you now. Matter of fact, it costs now, but it pays you later.
Yeah. So man, who you got? Pick one: Puppet Master or Chucky?
I love Chucky. Chucky's a complete movie, very entertaining. But I love those characters, especially when I was a kid. It was a little off-brand, but I love
my dad used to watch Puppet Master. Yeah,
mine too. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean. You have to do with the sweater, hood king.
Hit a cashmere sweater with the piece one glove.
So you know what I mean. That just sticks in my memory, holds a sentimental value to me. So I'm definitely going Puppet Masters, you know what I mean? They didn't talk, you know what I mean? And they weren't necessarily scary, you know what I mean? Matter of fact, they were kind of the good guys, but
nah, that one with the leeches was scary.
It was creepy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Some kids get fetishes now, they don't know where they came from, but so
yeah. This is why it really was important on the gray area insight. And I was like, what are some of the risks of being in the gray area? If you could tell a kid that they don't understand when they get older.
Well, you in the gray area, right? It's not wrong, it's not right. You don't get the full benefits. Yeah. You don't get the full benefits of each or either one. Like, you know what I mean? You don't get the full benefits of being black or being white, or it's good or bad. You don't get the full benefits about being white because you're just doing this that little part, that sliver of black that makes you gray, kind of disqualifies you from all the benefits of the white or the being right, on being on the right side of things. So it's kind of like a no man's land. You get away with some stuff. It's the double standard, but you get away with some stuff. It benefits you, but you don't get all the good benefits either. You know what I mean? If you get caught in there, they're going to consider you off base. Well, I wasn't all the way in the black, but I was in the gray, but you're still off base. You're not where you're supposed to be. And that can get you in trouble. And some of us live in the gray area, and you get so used to being in that little in-between space, you don't think what you're doing is wrong because this is how I do it. You know what I mean? Right. And then you get caught up and you're going to face the full consequences of being fully wrong when you are only halfway wrong or halfway right. You still right or wrong.
Do you think this will affect a lot of people's mental health? A lot of people they be in the gray area, man, and they think it's supposed to be a certain way, but there is no certain way in the gray area.
Yeah, so it's you can say it's expectations and it's reality. You think this is supposed to go a certain way. You got certain rules like these are my non-negotiables, but then you get in the situation, you start letting stuff slide. People start letting you slide with stuff, and you got to really in relationships and in professional situations, you got to have your boundaries. You know what I mean? You got to separate that black from that white, and just don't compromise when it comes to the things you hold important. Sometimes you can go a little gray, a little bit in between, color outside the lines. Yeah.
But there's no
risk. That's how you prefer it, but it's risk associated with that.
No guarantees.
I'm not really sure if I
can you see that, bro?
Yeah.
Talk about this for you. The pretty privilege card. It could be man or woman. I said, but nobody knows when the expiration date is. It can expire at any time.
Yep. You go from 100% discount,
boy,
90%. Now you're going to get 10%. You know what I mean? Went to, like, I know some girls when we were younger, they can definitely go to the club. No money, no purse, just a dress, maybe they ID, you know, in their bra or something, and they will drink, they will eat, they will get in free and stuff like that. And it's a rude awakening when you come off the bench and it's a couple years later, a couple kids or whatever, life didn't hit you. And then, you know what I mean?
The card
they
expired.
not buying those drinks. You got to pay full price to get in the club. And it's just, and it's hard to deal with it, you know. Like even physically as a man, you know what I mean? You go out there on a basketball court or a football field, you kind of go out there, you think you the same man you used to be, you know what I mean? You can't dunk, you can't barely do a layup, you're winded. And it's the same thing with pretty privilege. You just can't get them like you used to.
Yeah, you go from their football body to their dad bod, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, yeah, like even with me, like my chest used to be big, now it's like all in my stomach. So,
you didn't get those zipping yet?
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm working on trying to get approved, but I don't want to lose my butt. I don't really got too much of a butt back there, so you know what I mean? I got to maybe cake up on my squats, you know what I mean? Double up on them. So, but, you know, life is technology makes life easy. You know what I mean? I graduated, you know what I mean? Like I went from a bike to a car, you know what I mean? So if the technology allows me to do something, you know what I mean? I think with all the women, take advantage of these modern things. You know what I mean? You can't work out, you can't do this or can't do that, or it's too hard for you. You know what I mean? You make the choices. Like you know, I work out indoors. I go to indoor gym now. You know what I mean? Back in the day, that was unheard of. You know what I mean? So I'm walking on the running on the treadmill in air conditioner. You know what I mean? So.
So how long you think Amber Rose got? She like same age as us. How long you think she got for her pretty privilege to expire?
She invests, you know, Amber, to be a specific example, she invests in herself. So herself is her body. So she works out, you know, maybe some surgeries. Like she's very aware of her talents and what gets her where she is. You know, I think, you know, she can rock it for a long time. I think she got solid 10, maybe 15 or 20. But it's gonna change. It's changing already. So 10 years ago,
she probably was 90%. Probably 2 years ago, 90%.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And maybe 10 years, 15 for sure, 100%. Wherever she goes, like you can see her with somebody. It's like I definitely I'll pay to, you know, to be second, third, fourth, just to be in the presence of her. And it reflected that her stock was up, you know what I mean? And it affected her money. Like she's getting money, popularity, fame, like TMZ selling photos of her just walking in the mall. You know what I mean? And that's kind of died down, you know what I mean? That kind of hype dies down. But like I say, she's still a phenomenally beautiful woman, you know what I mean? Very high class, looks very pretty. She's doing what she needs to do to keep her physical appearance up, you know what I mean? Sharp mind as well. She understands it is a business, and you know what I mean? She's been able to pivot from just a pretty face to her business and things like that. So
what does she do as a business?
She's involved with a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Don't quote me on her all of her ventures and things she's got going, but she's got her hand. She's got her hand in a lot of pots, and she's you know.
But I ain't cooking nothing though.
You know, she's
pots.
very self-aware of what, you know what I mean, what she's doing. And a lot of people kind of like stay right where they are. You know what I mean? They gain 50, 75, 100 pounds and still expecting the same pretty privilege or the same modeling contracts.
You didn't check that card? You didn't check your card? It's expired. You didn't check
you know what I mean?
You know, you try to use your debit card online and say, oh, no, this card's expired, man.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? You got to look at that. Because you feel the same. Everybody, all of us, like, we're still looking through the same eyes. But what we see in the mirror is different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We get used to it because we slowly change day by day. But other people people really take an account of that. You know what I mean? I just look a little bit bigger. You know what I mean? Those are 20, 25 pounds. You can't get the same modeling contract that you would, you know, and that you would 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or 20 pounds ago.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with men. When you stop producing at a high level,
Yeah.
you're not going to work, you drink it every day. You know what I mean? You look like what you've been through. People are going to start treating you different.
You gotta start buying them gas station pills because you just can't.
Yeah, you know exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of times, men have the it's the double standard. Women get all this stuff for being pretty, but men have the double standard in their advantage. They can compensate for not looking their best, not staying physically fit, or being not keeping themselves up with grooming habits and things like that, because they can compensate with that with money. Because money is gonna be attractive to men, women. People are gonna be drawn to you for that, trying to network with you. You know what I mean?
And so people that's attracted to money, is that gray area stuff? Going into the gray?
Yeah. If you
because you just never know what's gonna happen to you when you do it. You know what I'm saying? You attracted for the wrong reason.
Exactly. If you're determining your value based off money, you're definitely like, well, I think these people really like me, and then you start believing it. You know, it's black and white. They like you or they don't. But oh, they don't like me for my money. Now you drink your own Kool-Aid, that moves you into the gray area. You know what I mean? Because I think they kind of like me. You know what I mean? Is they black or white? No. Is it option A, black?
Yeah.
Do they like you? Option B, 2, white. Do they not like you or they hate you? Well, they really didn't really fool with me until I got the money, but they seem really genuine. You know what I mean? So which one is it? Well, it's a mixture of 1 and 2. Now you're in a gray, you're in no man's land. You fooling yourself on some stuff like that. And I don't blame you for being fooled, because a lot of people are really convincing that they really genuinely like you, have a connection with you, and they just want to use you for your body, your money, body for women, money for men, and things like that. I thought she loved me, you know what I mean? 5 years of marriage, you know what I mean? She moves on to the next baller. Same thing with women. They get with this man, millionaire, billionaire, whatever the case may be. They're beautiful, and then the beauty runs out. Now she's 40, and he upgrades to when a 22-year-old. Well, I thought that man loved me. No. Well, he loves your beauty and your status for that time. Right. You know what I mean? And then that time expired, and now he wants a new wife. You know what I mean? The same age as one of his kids. So
what do you think about Halle Berry? You think she still got us? You think she getting close to expiration?
To me, Halle Berry is one of the people I think is she's not really like sexy to me, but I think she will be beautiful forever. You know what I mean? Angela Bassett was beautiful 20 years ago, almost 30 years ago, and she's still beautiful now. You know what I mean?
I think Angela Bassett is smart because she just didn't rely on it. She got committed. She got married.
Of course. You know what
she's not in the game like that. I think Halle Berry's still in the game. You know what I'm saying?
She is married. Angela Bassett been married a long time.
Yeah.
And we're just talking about beauty, but like when we're talking about
because these kind of people that use this card, they do the thirst pictures. They having the pictures with themselves covered up, taking pictures like this. They still trying to get that attention. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you got to think about with Halle Berry as well. She's been married a couple times, had a couple of kids, and she's still talented outside of her beauty. But I just think that's one woman that's just going to remain beautiful, differently beautiful, but still beautiful nonetheless.
Because I said when she first started, I mean, she probably was what, top 3, ESPN top 3.
Yeah.
But it seemed like over the years you don't see her in as many movies. You don't see her,
I mean, but
like she's probably gonna be like mid beautiful. She's not gonna be like top of the line. She's not gonna be like mid.
When it like sexy, maybe not, but I still put her in a top 10 beautiful women. She's still.
You said top 10, not top 3, but top 10 though. That's what I'm saying. You said top 10, not top 3.
Guess what? Nothing's lasts forever. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I can't name 10 women more beautiful than her. I can't not. Really, I'm having trouble naming 5. You know what I mean?
But now that we just said that, like, what makes her more beautiful? Like, is it because she's on TV all the time and she always highlighted? Because I'm pretty sure if you wanted to, you could probably find 10 girls just even in Little Rock.
I mean, because it's not a really extraordinary thing. It's just subtle ways. Maybe maybe if I saw another woman that was in Walmart or something side by side with her, they probably match up evenly, but she's just kind of like she looks like that. You know what I mean? You know, I don't think like she's not really. She don't really have big breasts, long legs, long hair, or what hairs, whatever she wants to pick. She doesn't really have anything. She just puts together real nice. She's a person, that's kind of beautiful. I can't just name off attributes or brown eyes or thin eyebrows or nose structure.
I think what happens is, this is my opinion, I think what happens is the mindset, like, you're so used to getting the attention. You're so used to being talked about. You're so used to the marketing, I guess. So, like, kind of like an NFL team. You're so used to having the hype. When it's not there anymore, does that affect the mental? Because you're so used to being sought after. You're so used to dudes, posting pictures or reposting stuff. Now, it may not be the same frequency. Does that mess with people, man or woman? You know what I'm saying?
It definitely messes with people. It definitely does. You see the people who are out for the money, and then you see the people who are out for the fame and popularity. And the people that are out for the popularity will still be trying to put out music or still be trying to act in a movie with that same niche, like trying to be the leading lady. You know what I mean? You're 60 years old, but you're trying out for the lead part. You know what I mean? For a 23-year-old and something like that, because they'll keep going for the plastic surgery just to get that feeling that they get when they first took the stage. You know what I mean? You see singers 60 and 70 trying to still put out a new album. You know what I mean? Because
like
they
Cher,
want
right?
that rush, and they feel Cher just recycles her old music. You know what I mean? I ain't heard an album from her in a couple 10 to 20 years, but
She running that money though. I don't know who her surgeon is, but he getting it though.
Like Mick Jagger, you know what I mean? Yeah, the Rolling Stones, they be out there, singing. They 70, 80. But I think nothing compares to the high of hitting an arena and people just shout your name and all that. I don't think any money can replace it. A lot of them go broke to feel that feeling again. And there's nothing like having a hot song on the radio and performing it for the first time for people. They hear it and they sing your song word for word. And it's not an old song from 10 years ago. It's now. And they just really trying to capture that lightning in the bottle. They'll go broke for it. And that's an addiction. That's a problem. Trying to get that first high. Like when people say crackheads was just trying to relive that first high. So, and I think that's a problem. And it happens to people like they were very popular and pretty in high school. You know what I mean? 400 pounds later, only thing they want in life is that feeling back.
Yeah. So what do you think? Pick one: The Living Color or Saturday Night Live?
Love Saturday Night Live because Eddie Murphy was on it. You know what I mean? It was just so funny. So many people went through it, but just Living Color as a show from start to finish, the original character. So many people got their starts in there, and it was just genuinely funny at all ages. I was very young when The Living Color came on. Got the humor in it. Watched it years later. Funny for different reasons. You know what I mean? That's just they had slapstick comedy. They had
everything.
LGBT funny. They just had anything that you can.
Yeah, they probably can't even play that now. They're probably in trouble now.
Exactly. Boy. But it was just, and it's just all of us. Like you saw, people of color really, really, really being funny, and they didn't exclude white people because Jim Carrey's there. The other lady, she was very funny. She was there too. I just really love Living Color. You can't now Saturday Night Live is still going strong, but you know what I mean. In Living Color captures something, and I think it's unmatched.
Yeah. What's the other one I seen? Yes, this is one I was talking about too. I can hold you too long, but so I was saying, understanding that the more you shine, the more people will hate or try to sabotage your situation. Is this a true statement, or is this like you gotta kind of understand how life works? I'm trying to get young people to understand this.
hate the overuse of this sentiment. Like when people say this, or when you shine, people gonna hate on you. They was already gonna hate. Those are the people but people that was in your corner, they was always gonna be in your corner anyway. They was ride or die regardless. Like I ain't never seen your friend that was really your friend switch up on you. Like, well, man, that was my day one from kindergarten, and they switched up on me. They probably really wasn't your day one. They was just probably your friend by proximity. Yeah. And then something happened, you know what I mean? So you gotta watch that, like, you know what I mean? And then trying to be weary of like your really good friends that are actually ride or die. Well, man, I'm the only one making money, so y'all this and that. And you know what I mean? You're alienating yourself from them. It's you. Now you think you too big, and now you are paranoid that everybody trying to knock you off because you hear all these sob stories. So you got to really, it's a case by case basis. You know what I mean? People gonna hate, but still the same amount of people love you. I can go, and you got to think: are you an optimist or are you a pessimist? So if you think, sit down right now and think of the first 10 people. Do 10 out of 10 of these people that you first thought of, are they your enemies? People that woman that's at your job that hates you, that supervisor, that manager, that branch manager, are these the people that come in your head? Or do you think of the 10 people who love you the most that you can't live without? Because I guarantee you, no matter how you're alone you are, you got 10 people that will ride for you. But you don't think about them. You focus on your haters. A lot of people focus on the haters. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Mike, every day, you got 3 people. I know you have more than 3, but 3 people live in your house that love you, that'll never switch up on you. You know what I mean? But people don't think about those 3 people. You know what I mean? That think you're a hero. They think about Tasha hating at work or Bill doing this. You control what you see.
And also, I told him too is that you have to know what you're doing as an individual. You have to understand you. Like if what you're doing is good, is what you're doing is bringing value to you, you have to live with that. You may not always get validation from people, you know what I'm saying? And you have to be able to understand that. Because some people, they want pats on the back, they want validation, or they won't do it, you know what I'm saying? So.
And it's the expectation of validation that really leaves us hurt. You know what I mean? Anger is just your response to an unmet expectation. And a lot of people get all these expectations of people, you know, like, well, hey, I got a million friends. When I start my business is going to do this because my friends are going to do this. You're expecting them to do something they never agreed to. They're supposed to watch your content. They're supposed to be your main customers. Just because I love you, I don't have to show my support to you financially. You know what I mean? And I don't have to do that. That person has an individual struggles and things like that. You know what I mean? Counting somebody else's money takes the focus away from yourself. That's what you're supposed to be focusing on to be what you can be and fulfill your purpose. But well, I know Mike make $200,000. He could at least do this for me. That's Mike's money and that's Mike's family. I don't know what they got going. You know what I mean? It's people that directly rely on him, and I can't, police his time. Well, if you was my real friend, you would do this, and I have that expectation. Well, the least you can do, saying expecting somebody's, well, the least you can do. That's a crazy attitude, and it's distracting you from your purpose, your expectations from others. Well, people in California really love my content, or they really like my music, or they really buy my albums and things like that. What's for you is going to come to you looking at people that have done nothing to hurt you, but they didn't do anything to help you. Right. If you're mad at that, that's a you issue. Exactly. That's a you issue. You're counting money that you had made. You're counting on a different type of support. You know what I mean? Because we all want support, and we want this type. Like I want support from Mike, and I get in my mind what it looks like for him to support me. But him supporting me in his mind looks totally different. You know what I mean? So you gotta watch that.
That's a lot of gray area stuff too. Like you said, expectations, like even in relationships. It's stuff that you talk about, then it's the gray area stuff that you don't talk about. People just play that assumption game. You know what I'm saying? Or they won't ask you. They won't ask you because if they ask you, do you like this? Yeah, I like that. Now, going forward, are you going to do that now that you know? Because that's how they use I don't know to get out of stuff. I didn't know. I didn't know you wanted that. I didn't know you wanted me to do that. Omission. I guess they try to say I didn't know as like, like an omission to not know. It's like gray area stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? So.
And, even like sometimes we be telling people, we be burdening people with stuff like, well, I need help and I need this.
Yeah.
And hey, Mike, I want you to do this for me. Like, man, I can do it maybe once or twice. But like every time I get paid, I gotta give you $200 or even something as simple as giving you a ride to work.
Yeah.
I can do it 3 to 5 times. You told me that's what you needed from me.
Right.
But like 2 months, every day, I gotta wake up an hour early to get dressed, take you to work, pick you up, take you to work, go to work myself. Like sometimes our expectations out of love and our relationships, we be pressing people too much. I understand you're going through something, but sometimes our expectations are a little.
I'm with you. Yeah.
A bunch of pennies will eventually make $1.
Yeah.
So
100%. So tell me what you think about this, bro. Pick one: Castaway or The Gray.
Man, 2 of my favorite actors, making whole movies on their own. You know what I mean? You got Liam Neeson in the snow with a weird
fighting wolves.
When I hate my job, like, well, at least I don't gotta be in the snow fighting wolves. But it was a different. It was just a whole different vibe, high intensity. But I just really like Castaway. Even though Tom Hanks was in a terrible situation, when you hear him talk in the situation and how he handles stuff, it makes the really movie lighthearted. You know what I mean? And it was a really depressing, terrible movie. You really watch it, but it being Tom Hanks, you know what I mean? Like, oh, that's a good movie. You know what I mean? That's a feel good.
Anybody, man.
Like it's like, yeah. But I definitely gotta go Castaway.
Yeah, I did that too. Castaway. Before you came on. Was it about Haku or Steve Blackman? I know that's all. When I was talking about that earlier, I was like, they both crazy.
Man, like but like the stories, and I can say Steve Blackman is really a dangerous guy. But the story you hear about Haku in real life, they say, man, that just dude was crazier in real life than he was.
You hear that Stevie Ray? You hear that Stevie Ray story?
I don't know.
He said he was they was in like Montana or some little state. It was probably like an undercard kind of state. It wasn't the main state that WWF or so, WCW. And he said that he went to the bar because it was right across from the hotel or close by the hotel. He said he walked in, looks over, see a brawl going on. He said he walked over there. He said how cool got this dude in the toga and death grip. He about to pee on himself, doodle on himself. He said he had to get Haku up out of there, man. He gave him to calm down. He was about to kill that dude. I ain't even done just to have somebody like that in real life. Have somebody.
I mean, it ain't good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I had a friend that won't be named. You know what I mean? Just being around dude can get you arrested. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He gonna fight. He might fight the police. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was like, man, I can't do that kind of time. Just be with you. You know what I mean? So.
But Steve Blackman, they say he was about that life too, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I go Haku, though. That's why I pick Haku, man, because even Shawn Michaels said they was in Mexico at the airport and they fought the police or something like that. TSA, it was something, but they got to it with him, man. With Haku. Don't worry about it. I got you, brother. Oh,
I was going to work for TSA, but I found out they don't fly for free. I was like, well, I don't think I can do it.
Man, I was watching Universal Soldier, clips of that today, man, while I was at work. I forgot how crazy that movie was, man, with Dolph Lundgren and
John Clark.
John Clark. Like, man, there's no way he'd be dude. In real life, man, dude was like 3 times the height of Jet Van Damme.
And guess what? They didn't do full body shots with them side by side the whole movie because they do
Heck no. Man, what was that they put in there? Was that like that made them stronger? Was it like a steroid or was it like a bomb and flu? I don't know what that was crazy, but
that was a whole like it brought him back to life. That was a super soldier serum.
Yeah.
You can heal by being in ice, you know what I mean? So
yeah, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, man, I'm pretty ready to get up out this thing. Got anything you want to say, bro, before we get up out this
no,
thing?
not really, man. I just wanted to stop in. I know better late than never. But I just wanted to pop my head in.
Thanks, guys, for watching. Appreciate everybody for logging on, hitting the like button and subscribe button. I'm going to holler at you offline too, Jay, before you get off action. But yeah, guys, we're finna get ready and sign out this thing. We'll catch you later.